Today we'll be looking at the 2009 French-Belgian comedy film Little Nicholas. The first scene begins with a group of students taking photographs in school. The teacher and the photographer are trying hard to keep the students under control. All the students are busy chatting with their friends except for a boy named Nicholas. Nicholas is the only one looking straight at the camera. One day, their teacher assigns them classwork to write about what they want to be when they grow up. Everyone begins to write, except Nicholas, as he's unsure of his future. Alceste, Nicholas's best friend who's always eating, wants to be a minister because he loves food and ministers have a lot of banquets. His other wealthy friend, Jeffrey, will collaborate with his father in the future. Albert, the butler, looks after him because his father works a lot. Clotaire, Nicholas's first friend who owns a bicycle, aspires to be a cyclist champion. He is, however, at the bottom of his class. He's punished constantly and gets deprived of things. As the principal reads out the results, all of the students appear scared and nervous except for a student named Eudes. Eudes, who's aggressive and argumentative, aspires to be a bandit in the future. However, his father punishes him for his poor performance. Nicholas's classmate, Rufus, aspires to be a police officer like his father. One day, Rufus is caught impersonating their supervisor, Old Spuds. As a result, he gets immediate punishment. Agnan is a top student, but no one likes him because he's a teacher's pet and a blabbermouth. On the other hand, Nicholas's father told him that if he hadn't married his mother, he would have been a soccer, swimming, or cycling champion. Hearing this, their next-door neighbor, Mr. Bledeur, mocks Nicholas's father, and the two begin to argue. On the other side, Nicholas claims to adore his mother. He also claims that he has no idea what he wants to be in the future because he enjoys his life and he doesn't want it to change. One day, the supervisor and a boy named Wahim interrupt the class. Soon after, the class learns that Wahim has a new baby brother and he's not pleased. Instead, he desired a bicycle. Wahim claims that no one prioritizes him because of his younger brother and is having a hard time. While heading back home, Nicholas asks Wahim if he was aware of this arrival, to which he replies no. He had, however, observed his father's overly affectionate behavior towards his mother. He also watched his father taking out the trash without complaining, which was unusual. Later, Nicholas inquires of his mother as to how babies are made. At the same time, his father interrupts him. He's brought Nicholas a gift, a spinning top from his boss, Mr. Mushboom. Nicholas claims that his parents frequently fight because his mother believes Mr. Mushboom is taking advantage of his father. His father then instructs him to write a thank you note to Mr. Mushboom for the gift. Nicholas's father begins to dictate, but Nicholas is unsure what to write in the letter. As a result, the letter becomes rough, and his father becomes irritated and doubts whether he will ever get the promotion. His wife suggests inviting his boss to dinner to make his boss happy. The following day, Nicholas notices his parents are in a good mood, making him skeptical that they plan to have a new baby. He rushes to school and informs his classmates. Their teacher tells them that they'll have a medical examination a few moments later. His classmates are suspicious of Wahim's absence. All students have their medical exams, but Nicholas is still upset about his news. Nicholas's father informs his wife that his boss has agreed to have dinner with them in the evening. While discussing it, Nicholas arrives from school and overhears half of his parents' conversation. He then assumes they're talking about the new baby's arrival. Later, his father suggests a weekend walk in the woods while dining. After hearing this, Nicholas becomes terrified, believing it's a ruse to abandon him in the woods. The next day at school, he tells his friends about it, and they suggest he buy something for his mother to make her happy so that she doesn't abandon him. As a result, Nicholas, Alceste, and Clotaire visit a florist to purchase flowers for Nicholas's mother. Soon the boys argue, during which they knock the florist into a cactus plant. Nicholas then takes a single rose from the florist's hand, pays 3 francs, and leaves. Over the next few days, he does everything to make his mother happy. He even visits his mother's friends while wearing his detested blue suit. His mother introduces him to a lovely girl named Marie Edwige during his visit. He then goes into her room to play with her. While playing, she has her own set of rules which causes Nicholas to lose every time and incur penalties. After a while, Marie's girlfriends arrive and begin playing with her and Nicholas. Nicholas's friends keep an eye on everything from the outside. The same night, his mother compliments him. However, she reminds them that they'll go for a walk in the woods tomorrow, worrying him. The next day, they all go to the woods. As soon as his parents get out of the car, Nicholas locks the car doors. His parents try to persuade him to open the door, but he refuses. As a result, his parents take the car back home by pushing. Following this, they summon a doctor to examine Nicholas, who is found to be okay. His parents then argue for the rest of the day. The following day at school, the boys form a secret club to protect Nicholas. Later, the principal enters the art class to announce that the Minister of Education will be visiting the school. The principal requests the teacher to prepare students for a good performance, but the teacher does not like the idea. However, she tries several performances, such as a play, a marching band, and a choir, but nothing works out. The principal suggests reciting a poem as a compromise, but the students disrupt the class in chaos. At home, Nicholas's father is daydreaming about becoming a top-level manager when his wife interrupts him and says she's decided not to invite Monsieur Mushboom to dinner. She laments that she has nothing nice to wear and no jewelry. She isn't ready to be embarrassed in front of Mrs. Mushboom. As a result, he agrees to buy her clothing and jewelry the next day. In addition, he also agrees to teach her to drive. On the other hand, Nicholas and his friends decide to clean the house while Nicholas's parents go shopping. They believe his parents will be so pleased with them that they will not abandon him. They begin cleaning, but instead cause a disaster. When Nicholas's parents return home after the traumatic driving lesson, they're shocked to see the state of their home and send Nicholas to his room. Following this, Nicholas realizes that he won't be able to please his parents and decides to run away from home. However, he becomes terrified and returns home. The following day, Nicholas informs his group that they'll simply get rid of the baby when it arrives. Unfortunately, Anya overhears this conversation and blackmails them into revealing everything unless they agree to support the performance idea. Later, the boys decide to go to the prison to find a gangster who can assist them in kidnapping the baby. A few moments later, they notice a man and summon him, but someone promptly shoots him, making the boys flee. Following this, they learn about the gangster named Blind Jack and believe he's the one they require. The supervisor informs them that Miss Navarin will temporarily replace their teacher in the next scene. Miss Navarin appears to be fierce and strict. She scolds Agnan in class and punishes him for the first time in his life. After class, the boys decide to call Blind Jack. However, some misunderstandings prompt them to contact someone in a garage who informs them that he will charge 500 francs to strip the body down. Agnan's mother throws away some expired chocolates at home after warning her son that they're poisonous. Agnan devises a plan to present the chocolates to the substitute teacher as a gift. On the other hand, Nicholas's parents discuss the dinner with Mr. and Mrs. Mushboom, while Nicholas mulls over how to arrange 500 francs. The next day, Jeffrey teaches his friend how to play roulette to earn 500 francs, but the supervisor confiscates it. He also tells them that Miss Navarin is sick. After hearing this, Agnan faints, believing that he's killed his teacher. When he learns that she only has a cold, he regains consciousness. Following that, the supervisor selects Agnan to oversee the class. Later, the boys intend to retrieve the roulette wheel. For that, they get Clotaire to distract the supervisor, and the other boys take the wheel while Clotaire and the supervisor are in the principal's office. Then they set up a gambling station on the streets, but they all flee when an elderly lady wins. On the same night, the dinner party takes place. Nicholas's parents have hired a maid to help them, and as soon as the doorbell rings, Nicholas's mother hands over trash to the woman outside, mistaking her for a maid. When Mr. Mushboom arrives, he's surprised to find his wife missing because he had sent her ahead while he parked the car. After hearing this, Nicholas's mother rushes over to Mrs. Mushboom, apologizes, and invites her inside. Mr. Mushboom inquires whether Nicholas liked the toy. Nicholas says yes, but next time he'd like 500 francs. He also whispers that he wants to hire a gangster to kidnap his brother so that his parents can keep him. Following this, the adults sit down for a drink, but Nicholas's mother is so nervous that she becomes drunk and passes out soon. The following day, the students are relieved to see their old teacher return. The teacher instructs the students to be respectful in front of the minister. The minister enters the classroom with a smile and begins speaking to the students, but the students are afraid to talk and laugh at his jokes. Later that day, Rufus visits Nicholas's house with a comic book and claims to know how to make money. They tell the other boys that they've discovered the formula for superhuman strength. Initially, a young boy drinks it and successfully lifts the van they engineer to topple. The other boys then form a line to get it. As a result, they make 530 francs. A few moments later, the young boy's father chases them down, claiming that they made his son sick. Later, Nicholas calls Blind Jack, who asks for the car. Nicholas then informs his friends that the man wants a car, so Jeffrey requests that his butler take him out for ice cream in a Rolls-Royce, and taking its advantage, the boys steal the vehicle. They don't know how to drive, so the car heads down the hill and nearly hits Nicholas's mother, who's learning to drive. The instructor instructs Nicholas's mother to pursue the vehicle. Both vehicles pass through Mr. Mushboom's office, and Nicholas's father saves his boss from the accident. As a result, his boss praises him. Nicholas's mother immediately turns the car to avoid the collision with the truck. Luckily, the Rolls-Royce stops in front of the phone booth where the rest of the boys are waiting. Following that, Nicholas calls Blind Jack once more. At the same time, Joachim arrives with his new brother, and this time he expresses his affection for his brother. Nicholas expresses regret and hangs up with Blind Jack. Nicholas's mother vented her rage at home, declaring that she would never drive again. Just then, Nicholas arrives home and expresses his joy over his new baby brother. His parents are perplexed and inform him that they aren't expecting a child. When he hears this, Nicholas expresses his desire for a younger brother and how they do nothing to make him happy. The same night at dinner, Nicholas's father makes some funny faces to brighten Nicholas's mood. Time passes, and one day Nicholas discovers the good news. Nicholas waits for his younger brother to arrive. Finally, his mother gives birth to a baby girl. Nicholas is enraged and disappointed because he wishes for a brother. All of the adults laugh at his outburst and he smiles. At the same time, Nicholas recalls his classwork. He now realizes that he wants to make people laugh. Finally, all of the students sit still and take a photo. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.